Hello, everybody. Hi, Marion. Hi, Mantha. All right, it is 6:30, I think. 6:30. 6:30. All right, you guys on your bikes? Ready to get started? Let's start. When it's 6:30, it reminds me of I think it was the Yogi Berra saying. We said it gets late awfully early around here, which is not necessarily. It's how I feel right now. I don't know. It would be a different saying, like it gets early, awfully early or something. Anyway, that's how I entertain myself with stupid jokes. So 10-minute warm up. If you are new to our cycling sessions and you haven't been doing a lot of high intensity, then when we do the 8 by 40 seconds, keep them at a comfortable rate rather than a hard rate. And that brings me to today's valuable lesson, which is, good morning, Maureen, and I are on Zoom. Hey, Maureen. Today's lesson is listening to your body. So I have a fantastic example of that, which is myself, in that yesterday I did a really great 45-mile ride. So it's a little under 3 hours. I did 5 efforts that were pretty hard. 2 of them were short hills, like 2 minutes long, a minute long, but all out. And then there were 3 times 10 minutes hard, and then one by 5 minutes really hard. So anyway, it was a hard workout. So point being, I got done with the bike ride. So pick a nice easy gear warming up. Every minute or so, switch down one gear, let's slowly bring up your intensity. So I got done with the workout, and I was quite fatigued, and I was quite fatigued when I went to bed last night, and I was fatigued when I woke up this morning. And then this is on the schedule. It's a more aerobic, but with some really high intensity work, and my legs just really don't feel like they are capable of that, right? So what do? So that's listening to my body, is understanding that my body does not feel in a place to do this workout, but the workout's on my schedule. And this is the mistake that a lot of athletes make, is they think, well, it's on my schedule, and so therefore I have to do it. And oftentimes that thinking leads to injury. So what do? In an ideal world, I probably would have went for a swim today instead of a bike ride. Right now, pools are closed, which means I would have had to go out in open water, which isn't a huge deal. Still would have been very beneficial to do that. But we have this planned here, right? So the question is, how do I change this workout for me so that it's not this super high intensity workout? And the way to do it for me is when you do the 40 seconds very hard, I'm going to probably have to bring down the intensity, right? So taking a deeper look, there's probably 1 or 2 things that happen. Either my number 1 key workout, the big workout, that 45-mile ride I did, maybe that was scheduled for Saturday. I couldn't get it in on Saturday for some reason, and I moved it to Sunday, which was a great choice in terms of training, because that would have been my number 1 key workout. This workout here would be like number 4 of the week, right, in a typical triathlon schedule format. So yesterday's/Saturday's workout was far more important than today's. But by moving it from Saturday to Sunday, it impacts things going forward. It impacts today. So that's one possibility. Another possibility could be that your schedule is set up in a way that you have 2 back-to-back workouts that are pretty tough. A good example might be that you have a key run workout that's the speed workout, and either before or after that may also be a bike workout. And maybe the run workout leaves you too tired to complete that bike workout, and maybe that's happening week over week. So that tells us that your schedule needs to be changed. So something needs to happen in your schedule so that you can recover if that bike workout is important. So that bike workout maybe needs to change to a lower intensity, active recovery, maybe a swim goes in that day. Okay, so that's happening week after week after week. then there's a change that needs to happen in your schedule. If you had to switch something in your schedule, and that's okay, you should always be allowed to do that because life pops up, then you need to know how to make the subsequent changes. Because really my goal as an athlete right now, so I'm going in the big chain ring, I'm going into easy gear in the big chain ring. We're 5 minutes in. You're welcome to do that too if you want. But my goal as an athlete is to recover as fast as possible. So I had this really hard workout yesterday, right? So now I'm tired. I want to recover as fast as possible so that I can do my next hard workout as soon as possible. Because our gains come in a combination of pushing ourselves and recovering. But if we push ourselves and we don't recover, that typically leads to injury. Okay, and there's nothing worse for your fitness than an injury, right? It just like plummets it. You just can't work out. So this is the lesson is listening to your body. My body is telling me today is probably not a full go day like it was scheduled, right? So I need to adapt. Okay, so I tell you that because it's something that comes up all the time when I coach athletes. If you're an athlete and you've been coached, if I'm coaching you, you know that on a regular basis, life throws you curveballs. You had a key workout, now you got to work 12 hours that day, right? So do you do the workout when you get off work? Do you add it to the next day and do 3 workouts that day, right? So typically, no. You have to realize that, hey, you just worked 12 hours, you're just toast, that maybe the best thing for you is to not to work out. And sometimes maybe the best thing is to change that hour workout to a 20-minute workout so you get some exercise and you have a mental benefit, but you don't feel pressure to do that hour workout, okay? So those are very common things that happen to people all the time. A great example living in Seattle is maybe your hard day is Saturday and the weather is just complete terrible, right? It's just dumping buckets. And then Sunday is a nice day. And hey, you got to go out and ride 3 hours. It's a lot better to do that when it's not raining, right? So that's a good change, but it also necessitates some changes down the line. And maybe like for this week, possibly what I could have done is I could have flipped the swim workout and this bike workout, swam today and done this bike workout later in the week. I also have to look about what's going around later in the week, right? Maybe there's some subtle changes that have to go on. And if you are being coached, these are perfect opportunities to talk to your coach, to ask questions, to say, hey, this is what's going on. What do you recommend? There's a lot of ways to mix it up. So don't get caught in this thing. And sometimes you're not being coached, but you're just following a schedule, right? And you're like, well, the schedule says this. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but you had to change the schedule, and that's okay too. And now that means you may have to change the schedule moving forward. So A, you need to give yourself permission to do that. B, you need to really listen to your body and respect what it's telling you. And then C, it just may take a little bit over time to start to learn how you finesse your schedule so that you get your hard workouts in, that you get recovered so you can get back up to a place of doing a hard workout. It's also a good reminder of looking forward on your schedule and understanding what are your key workouts. Because a lot of people, they don't look at it that way. They just go day to day. They miss their key workouts, and then they get these workouts in, but they never get their key workouts in. Instead, the best thing you can do is get your key workouts in, even if let's say there's weeks come up and you can only work out 3 times. Make sure it's your 3 most key workouts as much as possible, okay? Rather than just the 3 workouts. So let's say you can only work out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so you do what's on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but your key workouts were on Monday and Saturday. So if possible, do one on Monday and one on Thursday with a day of rest on Wednesday. Just an example. There's plenty of examples. It's a never endless loop of new examples So with that, we are through our 10 minutes almost. So we're going to do 3 sets of 45-second slow cadence. So let's get in the big chain ring. And the first one we're going to do on the easier side. Okay, so let's maybe pick a gear that just feels moderately hard. Here we go. So we want to get our cadence, and we're not going to push too much in terms of power and effort. I just want you to feel the pedal stroke all the way through. So right now, we want to be maybe around 70. I'm at, what am I at? 65. So I'm going to go 1 gear easier. So you can see my knees, they probably just picked up right away. So now I'm at 75, 76. So not super hard in terms of effort, just feeling the pedal stroke. If you can, take a quick look down and see what gear you're in. And then we can also shift back easy. So count your gears, ready, recover. So count your gears until you get to what feels easy. So that was 3 gear clicks for me. So next time, to make it a little bit harder, I'm going to go 4 gear clicks because that'll put me in 1 gear harder. Okay. Or you look down and you saw where you were. So on the next one, we're going to do low cadence again. Let's bring up the effort a little bit. So still keep the cadence below 75, somewhere between 60, 75. But we want to increase the effort a little bit. So we can do that just by switching 1 gear harder. Okay, we're going in 5 seconds. Here we go. So I'm going down 4 gears. And then I can definitely feel it slower, but I'm going to raise my effort a little bit. My cadence is 65 right now. It definitely feels a little bit harder. So this is where, for me, because I'm fatigued from yesterday, I can tell my legs are more tired than they normally would be. So that's just me listening to my body. Okay, take a look at that gear you're in. Or count your number of clicks to, okay, recover. So count your number of shifts until you get back to an easy gear. Now, if you want to, on the next one, you can go 1 gear harder. So we'll bring up the effort a little bit. Okay. And then myself, I'm going to stay right there. I'm doing some quick math. 8 times. I was looking at the workout and I need to insert like a 3-minute block, 2-minute block. So we get to 45 minutes. That's what I was doing. All right, we're going to come up on number 3. You guys ready? Here we go. Go. So find your gear. For ideally, it's a little bit harder than last time. So I'm at 76 right now. I would go, just switch 1 gear harder to drop my cadence. But for myself, I'm definitely working lower than I'd like you to work. All right, recover. So you can go to the small chain ring, or you can go to an easy gear in the big chain ring. And I'm gonna find some music for myself. Okay. Hit play. So we're gonna, I wanna ramp you guys up to get into the 40 seconds. We're going to take like 2-3 minutes to do that. Okay, let's go get in the big chain ring and choose not the easy gear, but maybe 2 gears harder than that. And let's go 30 seconds. Ready, go. Bring your cadence up. So bring your cadence up to 90. And go another 10, 12 seconds to get 30 seconds in. So you should be working pretty good right now. All right, recover. So you can go in the small chain ring or the middle chain ring for you, Maureen. If you have triple chain ring, small chain ring would be your middle chain ring. Okay, we're going to recover here for another 15 seconds. And we're going to go back to the big chain ring. Same gear, we can go easier or harder, but I want to bring up that intensity. So just wherever you were, I want the intensity to come up one. Ready? Here we go. Big chain ring. Switch your gears to get there. So somewhat tough gear, but also cadence at 90. So you should feel this in your legs. You should feel your heart rate start to pick up. Should start to become uncomfortable. That's what I'm looking for. Getting it to kind of that uncomfortable, because in a minute, we're going to be doing 40 seconds hard. So let's slowly just start to get closer to that. All right, recover. Let's recover in the big chain ring. Big chain ring, easy gear. Remember, that means you still have 2 gears you could choose, but you're not going to. Let's get hydrated. Towel off if you're sweating. All right, we're going to do 8 times 40 seconds. So if you need to, you can ease into it. The first one can be like moderately hard to hard, and then you can go hard on the second one. Keep it up there. Okay, ready? We're going to go 5 seconds. So you're in the big chain ring. You're going to need to switch to a harder gear. Ready? Here we go. Go. So as necessary, switch to a harder gear. You want it to be challenging. You still want to try to bring your cadence up to like 85, 90. And you should have to work pretty hard because you're in a harder gear. So right now I'm at 90, 85, 86. I'm also not working in a super hard gear because of my body's fatigue. So, but I'm just keeping it at cadence for you guys. All right, recover. Go to the small chain ring. Chains to be somewhere about in the middle. Should be able to spin very little tension in the pedal stroke. This is just all about flushing out the blood, getting the recovery so that we can do that one more time. Well, 7 more times. So I feel a little bit guilty because I'm not working as hard as you are, but like I said, it's what I need. And if I were to push myself, I just know from experience that that would be the wrong call because it would set back the rest of my week. Okay, we're going to do 1 minute and 30 aerobic, which is conversational pace. You can find this gear towards the lower end, faster end of your small chain ring, or you can find it on the easier end of your big chain ring. Here we go. So if you're in your small chain ring, try maybe switching down to one of your last 2 gears. And again, small chain ring means you have 2 gears you're not going to use. So your last 2 available gears are really number 3 and number 4. So down in that range, you should find that you can bring your cadence up to 90. You should find that you're aerobic, that you can have a conversation, that it feels comfortable. And if your cadence isn't at 90, try switching to a slightly easier gear. All right, we have another 45 seconds here at aerobic, and then we're gonna do number 2. So let's bring ourselves in a big chain ring. So on my right side, I'm gonna switch 3 gears easy, and then right away, big chain ring, and I may need to shift again on my right side. You know that when you make small chain ring to big chain ring, that's a huge jump in the change of gears. So there needs to be compensation on the rear derailleur. You can either shift before or you can shift after. In that situation, I like to make it easy, 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 and then boom, much harder, and then maybe I fine tune it 1 or 2 easy, as opposed to just going straight hard and then adjusting. Okay, here we go. Number 2, 40 seconds. Go, find your gear, get your cadence up as much as you can while pushing a really hard gear. So remember, bring your belly button to your spine, elongate your spine. You'll get a lot more power and you can really push through your butt. Nice job. Five seconds. All right, recover. So small chain ring. Okay, while you're here in the small chain ring, let your kind of self collapse a little bit. When I was doing my hard sessions yesterday, I noticed that in the middle of one, I pulled my spine in, I elongated my spine, and I felt so much more power in the middle of that hard set by having good posture. And it's just so easy for most of us. And maybe this doesn't happen to you, in which case, fantastic. I'll just tell you, it happens to me a lot. I'm riding along and then I find myself relaxed here, zero core engagement, slumping into my hands. And then if I can remember to engage my core, which helps lengthen my spine, I get a lot more power out of my bike and out of my body. All right, we're coming up on a minute recovery, so same thing, we're gonna do a minute and a half aerobic. You can find that gear towards the bottom end of your big chain ring, like your harder gears. But let's bring our cadence back up to 90. So in the recovery, I don't care so much what your cadence is. It should be higher, only because the gear is really easy. I do really just want spinning, and I want active blood flow. But in this aerobic, I want to bring it back up to 90. I forgot to hit my lap button, but luckily that was the minute, so we're going to go to 2:30 on my lap button before we start number 3. So my cadence just now is at 89-90. All right, we're gonna find ourselves in the big chain ring, so this chance to practice your shifting. If you want to, you can just go big chain ring, and then you can see right away that's so much harder, and then you gotta make those shifts on the right side. So however it works for you, these are great opportunities to start to figure that out. How do you do your shifting? You know, what's the sequence? All right, number 3 is coming up in 8 seconds. Let it be hard to very hard, as long as you got the energy. Here we go. Number 3, go. So there should be a lot of resistance in the pedals. At the same time, you should be working, pushing. Should take a lot of concentration. Four, 3, 2, 1, recover. So small chain ring, middle of the gear cluster. All right, I can only assume that for all of you that did the workout where it was 30 seconds the last 2 weeks, that this definitely feels a lot more challenging. because I know it would for me, but even just adding those 10 seconds. But you're starting to get to the point of when you're working really hard like that, a lot of times, those are 20-second bursts up to 45-second bursts. So we're getting into that place where we're reaching the top end of the time limit for something that's so hard. So I imagine it's quite challenging and that you're sweating a lot. All right, we're coming up on our minute. So that's right, 1.5 minutes aerobically, ready to go. You can do that in the small chain ring. You can do that in the big chain ring in your easiest gear in the big chain ring. Now, this may not be the case. Like if you have a triple chain ring, you may not be able to ride easy in the big chain ring. And so you just need to make that adjustment. The reason that may be is because it's possible that you might only have 9 gears in the back. And so where other people may have 10 or have 11, new bikes come with 12. But anyway, it doesn't matter because it matters by feel. You want to be riding where you can have a conversation, where it's comfortable. And so whatever that gear that is for you, that's the gear. And sometimes when you're new to cycling, that gear may never be in the big chain ring initially, because everything in the big chain ring feels really hard. But as your fitness improves, you might start to find that you can ride in harder gears, even though you're going at that same moderate / comfortable effort. All right, we're coming up 10 seconds, number 4. This is always a good one because you're going to be halfway through. Ready, 5. So big chain ring, and then think about what gear. Here we go. Push yourself, get your cadence up, then start shifting to harder gears. What's the hardest gear you can go and still have a cadence of around 85, 90? And you may need to toggle between gears in the middle of this 40 seconds. One gear might get to be too hard, and you just take a micro recovery in the next gear up, and you finish off the last 10 seconds in the harder gear. All right, 3, 2, 1, recover. So a really good recovery gear is small chain ring, somewhere in the middle of the gear cluster. If you just take a quick look back, make sure you guys are getting hydrated. So that's 4 down, 4 to go. So for myself, I basically am turning this into an active recovery ride. What that means is I'm getting a lot of blood flow, but I'm getting very little muscular tension. That muscular tension is what you feel in your legs, especially in those 40 seconds. I'm sure you're feeling a lot of muscular tension. So I'm choosing gears that allow me to feel very little muscular tension, even though we're riding together. Okay, minute and a half aerobic. Here we go. And so you can do the same thing outside, right? If you're riding with somebody and you're not the same speed, you can, the person who's a stronger rider can choose easier gears and we can ride together. You can also do it like if you're just 2 people or several people. The stronger people, if they do more time at the front and break more wind and do more work, then they'll get in an appropriate workout for them. Whereas the people who are not as strong, if they sit behind that person or in the back and do very little, maybe no work at the front, they get in a good ride because their solid, steady state ride is just keeping up with the faster person, right? So that's an excellent way, just when you think about the workload, And generally, it's a good thing to have the stronger cyclist spend more time out front, do more work. And those who aren't as strong can draft more. Of course, that means that you can ride closer together. So if you're, this far apart, you're getting very little draft. But if back wheel to front wheel are closer, it's much easier for the person behind. So it takes a little practice. Here we go. Number 5, big chain ring. Ready, go. So bring your cadence up. Find that gear. Ten seconds. Oh, go easy, recover. Give you an extra 2 seconds. That's what happens when you're not doing the workout. I can't feel the pain. So, bit of recovery, 45 seconds now. So that's a really great example for myself of like why I like doing the workout with you, because at 36 seconds I would have been screaming, ready for it to stop, as opposed to kind of mild discomfort. And then all of a sudden it's 42 seconds. So hopefully the Zoom is going well and you guys are able to chat it up in there. All right, minute and a half aerobic, I think. Kind of losing track. 5 down, 3 to go. Thankfully, Mint does counting, of course. Let's see. Coming up Thursday. I'm back for Thursday. I had originally changed the workout to Wednesday, but my vacation is starting a little bit later, so I will be here Thursday. I will not be here Wednesday. So Thursday morning, 6:30. I'm excited about the workout. It's a descending workout. So we'll start off a little bit elevated, and then we got 5, 7. We got 3 left, right? I'm going with 3 left. All right. If you want to, find yourself in the big chain ring. So 30 seconds more, and then we'll do number 6, then 7, then 8. But anyway, I'm excited for Thursday's workout. So I'm always curious when I write a new workout, which I try to write new workouts every time, and then sometimes we just incrementally make those workouts harder. Here we go. Ready, go. 40 seconds. Get your cadence up, find your hard gears. 7, like you're working hard. I'll wait. I'll keep better track of the time for you this time. 22 seconds. All right, 10 more seconds. Push, push, push. 5, 3, 2, 1, recover. Feel it. Meant that you're trying to be funny, like not 6:30, but move it to 7, maybe. All right, that was number 6. Unless I'm wrong. But hopefully I'm not. So, 2 more left. Think about where you're at. think about what's going on the rest of your day. Do you want to dig in and make these two last ones just killer? Are you pretty wiped out and you need to maybe go one gear easier on the next one? So, as always, we want to think about what the purpose of the workout is for you as an individual. And these last two are a great chance for you to tailor it to your current fatigue state, your goals, your mental motivation. Okay, minute and a half aerobic. So find that aerobic gear. It's definitely 2 or 3 gears harder than that recovery gear. But these are where you can really dig into the workout, right? You want to really push yourself, well, now's the time. You got 2 more. Whenever you get down to the last 1 and 2, it's like the horse to the barn. You know, it's almost done. And then you just have recovery and you get to go about your day. All right, let's go to the big chain ring. Okay, take a moment to center yourself mentally about how you want to push these 40 seconds. We're going in 7, 4, ready, go. Ten seconds left. Three, two, one, recover. Whew. Now, once in a while, if you need to, you can stand up, in which case you can go, I would go into the big chain ring if you're feeling that. Just so you can, sometimes it just helps to switch up the muscle groups. You don't have to do it just because I did it, but if you feel like you need to, you can. So sometimes it's just good to maybe stretch your back out, mix it up a little bit. It's really good to do on hill climbs. So you stand up for like 4 pedal strokes, sit back down, you get more power. So next Monday, we're doing a climbing simulation. We're going to do that by using the resistance in our pedals with our gear choices, and by which will force our cadence to drop, which is what happens when you go uphill. So let's go aerobic now. So slightly harder gear, minute and a half aerobic. So yesterday on my way home, there's this hill that I got to go up, and I was spinning, and even though my cadence was like 75, it was the same effort that I would be putting in at spinning at 90, 95 on a flat road. So sometimes you run out of gears and you can't spin at 90. And so when we do simulated climbing, we're going to choose a hard gear, which is going to force our cadence really low, but we're still going to be working hard. So you're going to be working maybe not quite as hard as you're working today, but still hard, and your cadence is going to be a lot lower, and that's going to simulate hill climbing. Right, on these, I still want your cadence up 85, 90, pushing the hardest gear you can, while maintaining 85-90. Next week, we're going to push hard and let the cadence drop because we want to simulate hill climbing. So let's find ourselves in the big gear. Your easy big gear. We're going in 5 seconds. Last one. Okay, guys, ready? Go. This is definitely something you could stand up here when you're really working hard, for sure. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1, recover. All right, small chain ring. Nice job. You're all done, except for a cool down. Put number 8 up there, Menta. Great job. I'm sure that was challenging. 8 in the bank. Yes, good work, everyone. Hopefully you guys on Zoom, you're like, Zoom high five, fist bump. Although we're not supposed to do that anymore, so you have to Zoom shaka or something. Right. Whew. Yesterday on my bike ride, I was able to pull in a lot of things that we've been doing in, I don't want to say class, with these bike sessions. Working on my form, working on my cadence. I was riding the flats, and I was a lot of times being able to ride at 93 instead of 89. So that was really cool. And I think that's really come from the cadence work we've been doing here. All right, let's go to the big chain ring in your easiest gear. Again, that means you have 2 gears you're not going to use. Mainly, when we cool down, I like to switch gears just so it's not so boring. So let's go 1 gear harder for like 15 seconds. Still should be pretty comfortable. You can let your cadence drop. It doesn't have to be at 90. Mine right now is 83 if you're looking at my knees. Okay, let's go 1 gear harder. This is where maybe you might start to get back up into that slight fatigue. So let's go 1 gear easier. And automatically that probably feels a lot better, right? Once you start to reach that little bit level of fatigue and you go down 1 gear, it should feel really good. Okay, 1 gear easier. Should be back or to your easiest big gear here. Okay, I want you to think about how this feels right now. Think about the tension in your legs. Think about your pedal stroke. And we're going to go down to the small chain ring. And I want you to see if you can replicate this feeling in the small chain ring. So for me, I'm going to switch 3 gears harder on my right side. So it's not this huge jump. If you just went to the big chain ring, small chain ring, your knees would feel like they want to pop out of the socket. So I'm going to go down 3, 4 gears. Then I'm going to switch my small chain ring. And then I'm going to go 1 gear easier. And for me, this feels about the same. So I'm kind of like in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th gear from the outside. Feels pretty similar to that big chain ring easy gear, maybe slightly easier. So I'm going to try 1 gear harder. So I'd say that big chain ring for me, that easy gear, is in between the 2 gears that I can toggle between. My small chain ring, one is slightly easier, one is slightly harder. But I want you to see that there's a place where your gears they cross over in the sense that they're very similar, if not the same. So you can find a gear in your small chain ring that matches up to your big chain ring. Now, not always. Your big chain ring, you go really fast. Your small chain ring, you go up a hill with less tension, so it's easier. And then there's this place in the middle where they cross over. Okay, so just something to think about. Let's do one more minute, super easy, and then I'll have pushed you guys beyond the 45 minutes. We'll go 40 more seconds. We'll get 46 seconds, and then you can do your run workout tomorrow, or you can do a swim workout. Kind of depends on what you need. If you're super thrashed, you might be better off swimming. If you ran in the morning, that's going to be less recovery than if you ran at night, but you run when you run. So start to pay attention to how much you're recovering. If you're not recovering for your next workout tomorrow, then that would be an indication that maybe something needs to shift in your schedule. All right, so that's today's big lesson. Listen to your body. Never goes out of style. Here we are, 46 minutes. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and thanks for joining. I'll see you later.